Design and designers. Pure fashion terms? Not really. We're also talking of so-called designer babies. And it's not Christian Dior's daughter or Linda Evangelista's son. It's the best embryos selected over less attractive ones. British lawmakers have drawn up a new human tissue and embryos bill that's meant to update old legislation from the 80s and reflect the most recent human reproductive technologies. But it is causing controversy. One of the main points of anxiety is that the legislation seeks to introduce the creation of animal-human hybrids for medical research, something which has not been allowed anywhere in the world.
You could design your baby's features, would you? According to LA's Fertility Institute, prospective parents can select eye color, hair color, and more.
The technology is called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, or PGD. It was created to screen for disease, then used for gender selection. Now this clinic plans to allow parents to select physical traits.
I would predict that by next year we will have determined sex with 100% certainty on a baby, and we will have determined eye color with about an 80% accuracy rate.
Dr. Jeffrey Steinberg is a pioneer in vitro fertilization.
I think it's very important that we not bury our heads in the sand and pretend that these advances aren't happening.
Kirsten and Matt Landon used his clinic to select the sex of their daughter. Choosing other genetic traits intrigues them.
I would have considered trait selection as an option, but not necessarily have gone with it.
A recent U.S. survey suggests most people support the notion of building a better baby when it comes to eliminating serious diseases. But Dr. Steinberg says using technology for cosmetic reasons shouldn't scare people away.
Of course, once I've got this science, am I not to provide this to my patients? I'm a physician. I want to provide everything science gives me to my patients.
You've come a long way, baby. Hattie Kaufman, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And new at noon, should society or government step in when it comes to changing the genes of a child before birth? That's the question high school students in Harrisonburg are discussing today. It's called transhumanism, or altering the human body through biotechnology. Award-winning journalist and author Ronald Bailey analyzed the ethics of the question. 8 high schools participated in the 16th annual event. Professor Myron Blosser says students will be confronted with this issue because of the new technology.
Once you know where a gene is, then that opens up the possibility for manipulating that gene, cutting, pasting, changing. And so parents will eventually have the options of manipulating their DNA prior to having children.
Blosser says intelligence, eye and hair color, history for disease, height, sex, and athletic ability may be changed before birth. However, it may present issues such as food shortage, overpopulation, or even religious conflicts.
HLN, we're about news and views. I want your views on the possibility of designer babies, being able to pick your baby's eye color, hair color, sex. Back, Marcy Darnofsky. Marcy, just let's talk about it. Don't you think this is just a slippery slope we don't want to go down, Marcy?
Well, I really do. And I think for most of these things, the trait selection, not the sex selection, the trait selection stuff, it's still a genie in the bottle, but the genie is straining to get out of the bottle. And once it does, then there's going to be all kinds of pressures to push us down that slippery slope. You're going to have the commercial pressures of the different fertility clinics who are going to be competing with each other for customers. And you're going to have the social pressures from parents who might feel that even if they don't like the idea, they have to give their kid the best start in the world.
Yeah, it just, I don't know, what's wrong with the diversity? Because people, you know, they start picking all the same tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed kids. It scares me if that's,